So yes, now we're at the end of the workshop, or actually it's day 16, and I would like to just check in with you where you are. If you can give a brief status on what you're doing at the moment, what you're focusing on, and if there is something that has turned up, something that you're wondering about, reflecting on during this workshop. Jenny, if we could start with you.
Can I start? Is it possible?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Because I'm a little bit off. I'm just going to take a flight. So I'm going to back at the same time, so I take the video off, but I'm kind of here. I haven't really got further. I have got maybe one day that last week. I've been quite busy. But yeah, You're
still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm backing at the same time, so but I don't have any big questions.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, Sari. And have a good flight when you reach that time. Jenny?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, I was just I actually didn't watch your recording the last session, so but I was thinking this it has been like this shadow things has been like I have been somehow thinking that's a lot, and the things that like I want to hide like in my work.
Yeah.
But somehow this last days, this what has been now this day 15 and 16, this
story doing.
Story, yeah, it's a little difficult for me somehow. Like I maybe the English words are like or somehow like what's the story, and like yeah, that's like so it's I'm like I don't know what we are going to discuss today, but
we'll go through it. And I know that there are some of the words that are, for example, protagonist.
Yeah,
that is often a word that is kind of weird, because we imagine the lead character in a story, but actually it's a story that you're telling. So I mean, that can sometimes be a little bit confusing. I mean, that's a word that they use in the book, and always when I describe it, I always say that this is really something that that it's a bit confusing, but it's actually just to think about what story do you, what main story do you tell about your work today.
Yeah.
For example, that could be a confusing point.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, I saw a little bit like I have not been having so busy even, but somehow I have been not so like involved this like I wished I would have been so. But now I have printed the stuff and
so you can actually dive into it.
Yeah, it's easier good. Like that there's paper than it's like in the computer.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes.
Yeah. And what are you focused on in your work at the moment?
Well, now there was a lot of this grant application stuff, and it's a little bit open for me now that what is next coming. I have this solo what I did like during last year, or the premiere was in October. So I'm going to like sell that or try to like get more performances for that show, but otherwise it's a little bit open, my work. So yeah, working on the future, future stuff. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks a lot for sharing that, Jenny. And Laura, how about you?
Yeah, well, I have been doing those tasks like but not very well, but somehow dealing those or read those questions and lightly answered. And I feel that the process really goes in its own way, like because these shadow things, they come up in different places. If I am rehearsing or also my like past as a rhythmic gymnast, it is very much affecting my way of seeing maybe myself and the body and body language. And but I am also I have dealt it also in my works, or like I am now doing a pitching. We are going with Sari tomorrow to Tallinn, pitching our works, and I will pitch my work Blondes, and there is there I have been bringing up this my trauma when I was a gymnast, and somebody told me that everybody in the gym thinks that you are stupid.
Oh.
And yeah, but it has been very like empowering to bring that up in the piece. And also when I do this pitching, I do it in the blonde way. I will be like this character blonde, and I am doing it in like truthful to me and truthful to being an artistic blonde. And maybe this process has showed me that I will be like I can be myself like fully. That maybe clear. That's more clear that I want to shine as I am, and it's powerful if I let it happen. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what other things, but it's the message I need to bring to this world. I don't have other ways because I have to express it, and otherwise I feel like stuck. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Laura. It's amazing how you, it's just really, it's inspiring to hear your way of embracing this and getting, and how you develop your work and your way of what's it called? What do you say? That you stand in your work in a very strong way. It seems like that. It's really, it's very beautiful to hear. Thank you so much, Laura. So what we'll do today is to go through this story doing method. The reason why I think that this story doing makes a lot of sense is because a lot of artists are actually doing their stories all the time. And then if we integrate it and actually combine it with the ones who are responsible for communication, then we can get so much more out of it. And actually, when we start using it as a strategic communication tool, then we can benefit so much more from that creative capacity that are within the companies, that are with the artistic productions, and combine them with these kind of outreach. So and like I wrote in the email yesterday, it all started with the story doing as a method started in practicality with Red Bull, the company, where they said that they didn't want to spend a lot of time on money on their on marketing and showing their name and their product in other contexts. They wanted to claim the states themselves. So they actually thought of, okay, who has the same values as we have, like who wants to do something for fun, something who are adventurous, who are daring, who wants to be living on the edge, who are daredevils. And then they found out that there was this group of people who were creating airplanes and developing themselves and also testing them. So this amateur airplane creators, and they made this event with them. And this has been something that actually that actually is still happening today. And actually, the fun thing that the other day, my son, he said, yeah, he was referring to an advertisement that is going in the Danish, probably also in the Finnish television at the moment, where it says that Red Bull gives you wings, and I mean that's like 40 years later, they still build on that metaphor, which they created back then, and it's still something that is so powerful that it actually gives you wings if you drink Red Bull. Of course, we know that's not true, but it's in spirit it is. And I think that it's that essence that of where you prolong your artistic values into actions that can connect with people, that where people they can feel they can see what your value is. And for example, I gave you this example with the Swedish artist, where he decided to restage his jump that he did 12 years ago at that time. And he then did it up in the air from a balloon, and it was actually that kind of story doing. He got a lot of attention on this, and it's a very well produced. I was just about to say commercial. It seems like a commercial, but it's not. It's more a story about that you can choose again, and you can actually choose to redo your failures. You can decide to change your life. And then, the reason why I think that's I haven't seen that many good examples on story doing. There are definitely some, but it's there is something about that's also a really good example of reclaiming your life. And especially for artists, that's when you use your body the whole time. There's something in like really reclaiming. I've got the power in my body. I can now do this, and that's something that people can connect with. I'm also thinking there is this Danish symphony orchestra. They did this thing where they went out in the in the metro and played. They did like this happening, and then it was kind of they were spread all over the metro, and then at some point they all started to take out their instruments, and then they started playing, and it brought a lot of pleasure to the people or energy to the people who were in the metro. That's also a way of where you act your story, where if you have a value, for example, that is we want to bring fine arts, classical fine arts to the people, and we want to all the time find ways where we can reach out to people so that they can get to know about fine arts. Then that is a very strong way of doing it, because you move your body and you place yourself and go to people where they are. And that is also an example of story doing, where you act out your story. Does any of you have examples of where people have acted out their values and in a very concrete way? Not necessarily. No? Well, then we'll just leave it with these examples, and then I'll just go through this this worksheet, and we have here at day 16, or maybe how many of you? Maybe we should we'll go through day 15 first, because then we'll just. So we'll make sure that everything is there, because the meta story, that's the thing that's the story that is kind of, you can see it as a headline. That is something that is the headline of all the activities that your company is doing. So when you have your meta story, that's like the overall caption of what you're doing. And then in order to find out, okay, what is our meta story, then it's good to see. I'm just going to share my screen here. Share screen. Yeah, and then we have this participants, protagonist, stage, and quest. And then so the participants, that can be kind of also a weird thing, or a little bit confusing, because participants, that's actually who is your work primarily for. So who are these people that you are doing your work for? So for example, if you are doing a community work, then it's the community, the people who are part of the community, they are the participants in this. And how do you advance their story? So like, how do you support their story? Because every person wants to has a self narrative. So they and it's about identity. So every person, they look at themselves and tell stories about themselves also to other people. And if you get to, there's a chat here, just a sec here, what does it say? I have to leave, Sari. Yeah, have a good trip. And so everybody has this narrative where they are supporting themselves in that, and then they also support themselves in the way that they. So I went to see this dance show, and it was really interesting. It was very unique, and when you tell somebody else that you've visited a dance show that is very unique, then somehow you're also telling them that you yourself is unique. So that's what I mean when I say, how do you advance, how do you as an artist advance their story? If you show them unique work, then they actually also, they can have the ability to position themselves as somebody who understands and is capable of understanding unique art. Then we have the protagonist, and that is, we just touched upon it when we spoke, Jenny. So this is, what is your story about your work today? So, and that is, so what is it, what kind of unique capabilities, what kind of unique attributes, what kind of unique culture is there in your work today, or in the story about your work today? Then we have the stage. It's not the stage as in a theater, a venue. It's more like your field. And so if you are a performing artist, then the stage is like the performing arts milieu or the industry there. And then it could be like, if you're, for example, into performance, and then that's the field. So what do you need to do in order, who are the gatekeepers in this field? So who are the ones who decide whether you're in or not? That's part of your field. That's part of your description of the field. It's also what kind of technology is normally used in performance. Is there something about the sound technology? Is there something about the way that you adapt work to different venues, or to different, if it's site specific, if there's something there. And then there is the competitive context. How competitive is this field? And in which way, how does this competition spill out or show itself? Is it very much about knowing the right people? You often hear that. Or is it more about attending the right attending the right courses, or attending the right being in the right what's it called, events and so on? So where you get to, so it's the information that is the competitive factor, or what is it actually? Is it who you know, or is it the knowledge, or is it your skill? So what are the competitive aspects in this context? And then what is the business context? So how do you actually earn money in this context? What kind of business model is possible in this context? So it's very much about describing your field in what it looks like. Then we have the quest. And that is, what is your driving ambition and contribution to the world with your work? And there we have this, that is, what kind of values is it that is driving you in your work? So what is important to you? And what is the greater purpose of this? So why are you doing this work? So it's the big why, what's driving you? And then what kind of culture is it that drives you? Is it the culture where it's about doing what is for the highest good? Is it a culture where it's about being the best? Is it a culture about being as creative as possible? So all that are questions that you know. So maybe we could just take an example here, use one of your works as a case here. And now I'm just gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna look at you. So maybe we could just, would one of you share what you've written in this model?
You mean like answer this?
Yes, what you've written in the model, and then we could go through and find the meta story together.
Yeah. So this action speaks louder than words thing.
It's the just a sec. It's the
action mapping.
Yes, it's the no, it's not the action. It's a meta story. It's the one, action speak louder than words, on day 15.
Yes. So yeah. Well, I have write something, but I don't know.
Yes,
I have.
Let's go through it. Definitely.
Yeah. So participants.
Yeah.
I have wrote like marginal people who are interested in seeing like a world from different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking like the audience who wants to come to see my performances. I don't know.
Yeah. And when you say marginal people, what is that?
I mean that because I have been performing quite much like in a quite small places, so not this kind of like a big production houses or somewhere like that. So there's like a somehow like a, yeah, maybe the marginal is the wrong word, but this like a well dance audience not so big in anywhere, but somehow like a this like a little bit like off places, or like a, I don't know what would be the right word, but yeah, like not ballet people, but of course, but not even like a Zodiac house people, but like a somehow like a yeah, like a, but I don't know who. Maybe it depends from the venue where you are performing, like what kind of people there are, of course. But
yeah,
But
so it's people that have a very specific point, or have are very specific in their taste, or that they have a very advanced approach to.
Yeah. Maybe in some I have been doing some site-specific things either. So they are maybe more. That's maybe more like an adventure, like who wants to come to adventure people.
Yeah.
But yeah. Should I move on? Yes.
Yes.
And this protagonist was. I was somehow thinking this like a head person, like that. That's niin kuin päähenkilö in Finnish. So I was thinking somehow like what kind of this. Like my perspective in a way, my own perspective, but I don't know, did I understood it right? This
I think it's that's where as we spoke about in the beginning, the protagonist, it's a bit confusing as a word. It's more like it's actually the main story that you tell other people about your work. So that's actually the protagonist right now, your meta story.
Yeah. Well, that's a question mark for me. Like what
do you say to other people when you talk about your work? If you meet an old school friend, what do you tell about your work?
Well, I think it depends what production I'm doing right now, but like at the moment. But I feel like I'm doing so small things right away, like at the moment. Like for example, the solo, it was like it's a little bit like my personal journey, or like a starting from my personal things that are bothering me right now, and then I'm doing like this fictive character, which is of course a little bit something else than me, but somehow there's the roots are like in me in a way. So it's like something like that, maybe I would explain.
So are all your works based on personal stories?
Not all, but this, for example, was a little bit like based on, and quite much actually. I think the starting point comes from my personal life, and then it spreads from the of course it comes shared with the work group and stuff, and but somehow the seed, I think it comes from. So
there is something about you doing this in a personal that you start up in a personal storytelling, so you have your personal story, so it's it comes from you. You are the source of the stories.
Yeah. I think that sounds like a.
So it's the main story about your work is that it's personal storytelling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the stage, I was somehow thinking the field, the dance industry.
Yeah.
And a little bit, this is so pessimistic now that this kind of everybody's fighting from the same money, and this, I think it's quite harsh. I feel that it's quite like a, I don't know, somehow like harsh in a way, or like a brutal or cruel, or like a, because it's so like a, at least in my case, I feel that it's so much this funding stuff and this applying and that. So yeah, so it looks like a I don't know, competitive somehow, and like even though there's like nice people in there, but somehow I don't know, it's this maybe this maybe this like in my perspective is this like applying and that's, so it feels quite like a, I don't know, like a
so it's a competitive
yeah.
And how does that affect your way of working?
Maybe it's like a, I don't know, it little bit like comes that it would be nice to like step away from that in a way, but it's like difficult because otherwise you cannot do your work. So it's like a what's the word in English? Contradict, like a ristiriita.
It's
and money is something that I really hate the subject, but of course that's like the big, like a, I don't know, it's like a, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else there. Yeah, somehow it also like, it's a little bit this selling stuff also, that for me the selling is not a problem, but just that I don't know where to sell it in a way. It's like difficult to find because it's not so yeah.
So maybe what you need to do is to do the mapping of the field, because it actually seems like you're not, I know you've been in this field for a long time, but sometimes it can be good to actually look at it like very practical and do a mapping. Okay, what kind of venues are there that are suitable for my work? Like do the research for that, and also ask around and look at works that are kind of similar to the ones that you are doing. So where did they go, and go into that field to like really map the field and approach it in a more like a research research way. That can help sometimes.
Yeah. And then the quest, so what that, how do you say that would be like if you clear this quest thing more, like what
are your values? What is that
that
makes you, and what is the purpose of your work? I mean, what makes you stand up in the morning?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
But I think, it's maybe somehow that where there comes like a new ideas or like things that I want to like, so maybe those like this trusting this creativity or what comes these ideas and also this like when there is like a group of people doing together, so it's like nice to have like that there is like a good like a lot of ideas and like a feels that it's like a good thing that we are doing, or it's like a good piece or good work or something like that. So I think that's the so maybe some greater purpose.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
So what is the greater purpose of your work?
Yeah. Well, I think it's nice when there's some audience member who likes the show or the performance, or like that there comes some like a feedback and there's like a some dialogue in a way that somebody has seen the work on. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some communication or some like a contact or some like a that it feels that somebody sees the work in a way or something. Yeah. I think that's.
So it's. I mean.
It sees like what is in there in a way, like.
Yeah.
Maybe like understand. I don't know.
Yeah. So that your work actually reaches somebody.
Yeah. Reach. That's a good word. Yeah.
And so that your work actually affects people.
Yeah.
Okay. So all this essence here, or if you look at the essence of these answers, that should point on what your meta story is. And if you could just read aloud like the main sentences in what we just went through, and then let's try and synthesize what the meta story is.
So just the word, like some words. Yeah. Well, these marginal people, but that was not so good word, but people who are interested in seeing the world from different perspective. Harsh, competitive. Creativity reaches somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
So there is something about like the different perspective, something refined that finds its way through this competitive field and reaches somebody out there. So there's something about taking some of the complex themes or topics and making them and then reach out to people through an aesthetic work and touch people or like reach people and then people who feel resonate who resonates with this more complex matter of art and of life can feel that they have been reached with these work. So there's something about the complexity and and being able to also like wanting to understand the different perspectives, the complexity in life, and then understanding. So it's about like you bring complex different perspectives to people within with creativity. Is that something like that?
Yeah, it sounds like a
yeah. Something that, I mean, that could be a driving force. That could be like a driving force in your
yeah, I felt that there were nothing there, but it sounded that there is some like
so
complexity is like well, I don't know. I think that's I think at least my works are quite complex in a way. There's like a lot of levels and depends like at least I have been thinking like that, but
I mean, there's a difference between knowing that you're working with a complex topic, and then your aim is to make it more broad and make it more available to a broader audience, and then deciding to stay in the complexity and go deeper into that, and then decide on, I want to reach the people who actually gets this kind of complexity, who resonates with this complexity, and those are the marginal people that I'm going to reach. I mean, that's a choice, and it's both choices are totally great, but it's just a choice.
But maybe I was thinking this complexity, like that there is like that when you see the piece, it's like it looks like quite like, but then if you start to think the words and the meanings, there is like a lot of levels. Maybe that kind of complexity, like it's maybe more
the work
like,
in itself isn't that complex, or
yeah, the work in itself, it's not so complex in a way, but somehow that there's like different meanings when you think that the text, for example, that there is like if you say the same sentence many times during the piece, the meaning changes, like in what context you are saying it, or how you like underlining some, so it's like that kind of complexity. I don't,
yeah, but if you decide to, I'm just wondering, are you it seems like, but maybe I'm wrong, it seems like you decide also to keep the story about it in a complex in the complex field, so that when you talk about your work, it is the complexity in it that you value, and it's not the it seems like that. Maybe I'm wrong. So when you value and you enhance the complexity in the works, then that becomes your story about the work. And when you do that, then you actually decide that you want to reach people who are more like the marginal people, that like the smaller group of people. If you decide, actually, I want to bring my work to more people, and I still know there is a lot of complexity in it. However, I'm going to focus on the stories that are a little bit more simple, and so more people can relate to it. I mean, that's a choice you do.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
So oh, please bear with me. Okay, thanks a lot, Jenny. And then, of course, then you can look at, but now I think we should also go to Laura, but then you can actually look at the consequences of this meta story, and then look at the day 16 and say, like, because they're the arrows that go the other way. So the meta story affects what offers that you're going to offer, what identity your company is going to have, what capabilities you are going to have in your organizational structure and process, and what kind of culture you're going to have in your organization. So, for example, I just had a meeting or a advisory session with a young artist, and or not young, but she was an artist where she was working with doing works with kids, or doing like processes with kids where she integrated, or she involved the kids in the show, and so they became co-creators. And actually, what came out of our session was that she started not only thinking about the kids as a group of people, where it is actually where she needs to sell to the teachers, but actually to sell the workshop with the kids to the teachers. But there was also a market for workshops with the teachers, where they could learn some of the things of some of her method on how she was actually coping with the children, and coping with the fact that inspiring the kids to follow her lead and actually do what she asked them to do, because she was working with their energy instead of against their energy. So there is something actually we are now discussing, it's more like okay, it's not only you actually have you have the capability to actually do workshops both with the main target group as kids, and then also the main target group as teachers. So you get different target groups for different products that you can sell. And so there is something about when you go deeper into your work and look at it, then you can maybe sometimes okay, I should offer this because that would actually be something that is aligned. And when there is this complexity thing, maybe I'm not saying it all, but just with brainstorming, there is something about being this complexity translator. So maybe there is also something about that about the I mean, one of the different tasks or the difficult tasks is to translate something very complex, something very abstract into something that people can relate to. And I mean, that could also be a thing that you could help people understand complex artwork. I'm not saying this is totally out of it's just something that I'm just to give an example of what you could do. Like bring in different offers. I'm not saying at all that that's what you're going to do, because you only do what you find is good for you. But there are ways to develop other offers that complement what you're doing already, focusing on what you're good at.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Laura, could we look at your model?
Yeah, I have done this task 15, but not very not very good sentences, but I can maybe explain.
Yeah, please.
But today I haven't done task the 16.
No, but we can do that later. Yeah.
But I would like to say about Jenny's that it was very valuable to hear that when you describe really what you see in your work, or now I understand how meaningful is to give words, like what is the specialty, because it somehow it gives a lot of power to the art if you celebrate like aspects, like specific aspects of the work. So I feel that because I know your work somehow, I have seen your work, so it feels very good to hear those words. Yeah, that I feel that we should really speak in our own way about our works, and then it is not something like everybody is doing only performances and everything is in the same mass. Then there comes the competition, and because we are not we shouldn't be competitive. We should be special. We all bring something unique, and it should be more in our language that we really give something different perspectives about life. And yeah,
it's so beautiful the way that you're actually seeing and embracing the way that Jenny is describing her work. Thank you so much for that, Laura.
Yeah, I love that people are unique, and it's the thing, and then we can support each other. When we see that everybody is unique, we are not in the same world. We just give something to each other all the time when we show something different than is in our world.
Yeah, that's great, Laura.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share what you did on your model. So if we take the
Where is Jenny now?
Oh, I don't know. Where did she go? Oh, well, let's just keep on here. I would like to
Okay.
see yours.
Is Jenny now?
No, I'll be looking out
Yeah.
for her if she's coming
Okay.
in, definitely. So if you are just going to do like the participants, the protagonist, the stage, and the quest, please.
Yeah. So people who want to see my art, or is the first
The protagonists are the
what is-
participants. The participants are the ones who are seeing who sees your work. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that maybe people who somehow can resonate with me somehow can feel the energies and maybe can see the or want to see courage and passion and high vibrations and maybe something that is deeper yearning for, like soul's deeper yearning for that we are not like in this physical 3D world, I would say, that we are like spiritual beings who are like more like limitless energies.
Yeah. But so who is the people who are participant in your work? Who are the participants to your work? Who are like watching your work? Who's attending your work?
Yeah, I have different audiences. I have, because I perform also in dance stages, and then I perform in fashion happenings and galleries and music happenings. So I think there is different kind of audiences, and
but so what kind of people feel that they resonate with your work?
Yeah, that's the thing, that maybe people who want to be maybe truthful and
Jenny is back.
Yeah. Hello.
Sorry, my it was power went off and I have lost my laturi. No.
Okay, no worries. Good. Good to see you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're just going through the model with Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who people resonate with me or want to see my? I feel that the people who are somehow wanting same kind of things from life, like some deeper aspects, like deeper soul's voice. And not like something that feels that it is also passionate and and also like very truthful.
So it's wholehearted.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the protagonist, what is the main story you tell about your work today?
The main story is that maybe I bring many times the transformation about for my work, that there is like some like a jail and how we can like liberate ourselves, and how we can also question certain like limiting aspects of life, like question and celebrate the like being free. And it's and I like to do it like intuitive and like that you can't think about it, you just have insights, and it happens many levels. I love to bring things in many levels, that you have to just sense and connect to your wisdom, and then connect to your intuition. And that it's something that also brings the wisdom, but it brings also like playful and silly and many ways that many in different energies.
Definitely. Great. And then we have the stage. How would you describe the field?
So I have this different kind of fields where I perform, and in some stages I feel more free, and maybe in some like parties and happenings and this kind of places, and I feel a little bit stuck in the like a dance stages, and I feel that
how come is that? What is it that you feel stuck in there? Why is it?
I feel that somehow I can feel how people look, what kind of classes they have, and I feel the collective energy. And but when I have done things other places, I have freed myself, and then it's easier to come back and maybe come to the dance places. But I feel so easily the collective energies and thinking, and it is feeling that I don't want to my art is getting more like that it sucks away the this creative energy. And and I have felt that no, I don't want to be here. And but it's easier when I somehow can cut this thing and go other places and then come back and be more aligned with myself. And I want to do maybe this a little bit, this testing, that can I present my things here? And because I feel that we shouldn't hide still, even if we feel that this is not the place, but how to come there and be aligned with yourself, and then maybe go and heal and then come back, and then we can affect also, I feel that.
Okay, and then the last one is the quest. So what is your driving ambition? What is the greater purpose of what you're doing?
To manifest that we are not limiting people. We are not how we think, how people think they are not that. And to show that we are spiritual beings, and to get the energy flowing and transform energies.
Okay, so if you could just again like say some short sentences and just say them in a row, and then we'll look at what could be the meta story in your work.
So courage, I think, and I could say, even if I haven't tried here, that to be truthful for yourself, for myself, to be maybe also to tell something. It's important for me to even if people, I feel that collective think other way, that I bring the other truth. And maybe the soul's truth and heart's truth, my own voice, and then high vibrations and transformative energies.
Okay, so there is something about this. If we try to synthesize this, there is something about manifesting a transformation, or manifesting, or that there is this always encouraged truthful transformation, or like showing that we are the spiritual being. I'm not sure whether it's a transformation that you're really fond of, or like that's important to you, or it is like the fact or like really like confirming that we are all spiritual beings. I'm not sure what is the
I think that I am on my way to something, that still I need to somehow bring where I feel like I am stuck. I somehow need to show it, or like it comes through my art, and maybe there is I am going towards more being free, just being free, and showing the energies. Yeah, that I make a transformation through my art, but yeah, it's a long term.
So transformation is more important than confirming that we're all a spiritual being.
Yeah.
So it's the transformation is the important thing.
Yeah.
So it's very much about truth, to encourage. Maybe a metastory for you could be to encourage truthful transformation.
Yeah,
that's something like that.
Yeah, and also that it's play, it's playful. Artists, and that it can be whatever. That and I love to use, like, for example, now I'm doing kung fu and Irish dance and folk dance, and in the same video, and like this craziness.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe there is something about, like, to encourage playful and truthful transformation. That is like your meta story.
Yeah.
And then you can look at that, and then you can go through the day 16 model, where you look at the actions or the consequences of your meta story. So what if to encourage playful and truthful transformation?
Yeah.
What kind of offers will you then offer? What kind of identity does your organization have? What kind of capabilities do you have? Do you need to have? What kind of culture in your organizations do you want to have? So the consequence of your meta story, that's something that you can go through now and then look at it. And that's another perspective on your work. Does it make sense, or do you have any questions? And this is for both of you, because now we have actually reached the final time. Oh, there's a child.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Oh.
There is my mother also. So.
Okay.
No, just thinking that if for example, in my case, I'm doing so different kind of like works, like something for children, something for sight, something for stages, like that. I start to think like that maybe there's many meta stories in there, or I don't know.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, the stronger, or I mean, there could be more meta stories. There could be a meta story for each project. However, if you look in the more clear your method become, the more clear does your overall meta story also become, because you do have some values that are important to you. in your work. And I think that's going to be like overall for in all works that you're going to, of course, you unfold different sides, you unfold different projects, different topics. But if you like, there is some kind of core in what you're doing. Or maybe there isn't, but often there is some kind of core in what people are doing. But it really takes a look at your work and your praxis and a deeper look at it to realize, okay, what is it actually I'm doing? What is actually my values here, and why am I doing it? And then what is the overall story about this? And then the meta story, when you have been analyzing that and looking at it, then that can be a help for you to actually go through with your work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How about you, Laura? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, maybe those the 16 is I don't quite completely understand it, but maybe I just need to read it again.
But this is on the day 16, the action mapping. That's really about what is the consequence of your work's meta story. So if you look at, okay, to encourage playful and truthful transformation, are there any new products that I want to develop in order to like carry through to act out this meta story? Maybe you say, no, I'm actually doing everything I need to do. I'm doing perfectly fine right now. I don't need to change anything. Then that's perfectly fine. But maybe you find out, oh, actually, I also want to do some workshops where I support people in doing this transformational process, because I think that's really that's so much of a value for me. That's actually part of my greater purpose. And so one thing is to do my work. Another thing is also to support other people in doing this these creative transformations. I don't know. That's just a suggestion, or like an association. Or maybe there is something about the playfulness that's something that's really important to you, and that's what you want to bring into. You want to also work more with children, or you want to work more with grown-ups, or you want to work more with the old people. What do I know? There's something, or you want to reach out to somebody who's not really in the performing arts industry. They are somewhere else. Maybe it's in a nursery home or like hospital, or what I know. So it's more like, are there some things that as a consequence of this articulating this meta story, that you feel like, okay, I want to offer this. I have some new products. Then I have some ideas to some new.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
I feel that people many times people ask me about this, that could you give a courses, and I have gave, but I feel that no, that I want that we can, with our performances, we can, that it's important to bring performances, that not to, I feel that I don't want to teach and I don't want to give any courses, but easily people pay with, like in this that you give this way, and I feel that no, it should be important that we artists can have money with our art. And
I totally get your point of view, Laura. It's also about, and I mean, if you want to do that, that's totally fair. I mean, just stay with that. It's just there's also, I'm just pointing at, there could be a possibility, and as you said, you've been asked to. I mean, there is a demand for it. People want to have a workshop from you, and but you decide whether or not you want to do it. I mean, it's not necessarily that you have to give up your art just because you give a workshop. It's not like that your soul is taken away because you give a workshop.
Yeah, but I feel that I give away my soul if I do it. I feel that something is taking away from me, or I don't want to do that.
No, fair enough. I think if I were you, I would look a little bit at why you feel like that, because I mean that's quite a
because it takes time from my art, and I also feel
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I feel that in our culture they don't support our art, that there is no supporting for artists, like doing what they really feel for, like themselves, that, and it feels that it is feeling that I shouldn't be doing what I am doing, and I want to do what I do.
Yeah, I totally get. I do get your point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very difficult to change the structures. You cannot change the support structures.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can decide to say no, I'm not going to do that, and I think actually I should have been paid more as an artist. You can definitely do that. Or I think I myself is more a practical, pragmatic person. I'm more like, okay, if there is money in this and I actually do have a heart for this, okay, then I'll do it. Because I also really want to help people. I also really want to and in what kind of shape I'm doing it. I mean, that is also a bit decide of what's possible. But I mean, that's different approaches.
Yeah.
So, and I think so and if you've decided that you don't want to give workshops, fine, that's your decision. I mean, that's all good. But sometimes it might be also, it's very good, at least it's good to see, to be sure of, be very conscious about why you choose not to give workshops.
Yeah, but I have done it, and it feels that I shouldn't have done it.
No, then I mean, then you made a decision and you felt so this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I really want to say thank you for today's workshop, and I see that it's also dark in Finland right now. And definitely thanks a lot for being present today, and thanks a lot all in all for your presence in this workshop, and to everybody who's looking at later on. I think it's been really great to get to know several of you and several of your work. And we still have what's it like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 5 days left, and looking forward to hearing more from you. So thanks a lot today, and I wish you a very good week.
Kiitos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kiitos.
Kiitos. Bye bye.
Bye bye.